Roger Stone, a political operative and longtime ally of President Trump, is now admitting that he talked to the Trump campaign in 2016 about WikiLeaks' plan to release a stockpile of stolen Clinton emails to hurt Clinton's campaign. Stone published an email exchange with Steve Bannon, then the chief executive of the Trump campaign, where Stone said there'd be a load every week going forward. This as the special counsel, Robert Mueller's team, looks into whether Stone had an inside track with WikiLeaks and whether he shared any of that information with then-candidate Trump or Trump's inner circle. Joining us now is Democratic Congressman from California, Eric Swalwell. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks for taking the time this morning.
Of course. Good morning, Jim.
So when Stone testified before your committee last year, he said, and I'm quoting, he had no advanced knowledge of the source or actual content of the WikiLeaks disclosures. Do you feel that Stone lied to your committee?
I do. And Jim, Democrats on the committee have tried to refer a number of transcripts to Bob Mueller's office. We've asked the Republicans to allow us to vote those out. You know, I've seen the House Intelligence Committee, and every time we've asked, Devin Nunes and the Republicans have voted against that, and it's for this very reason, testimony just like this, that we're very concerned.
If the Democrats regain the House, will you bring Stone back to testify before the committee?
Well, I think we'll fill in the gaps where they exist in the Russia investigation, which first would be to send the transcripts to Bob Mueller, then show the public the transcripts, and then interview witnesses, but also to test their accounts using the subpoena power. And so I think first what we want to do is to test what Roger Stone told us by subpoenaing Twitter, subpoenaing bank records, going after travel logs and communication logs. We ran a take them at their word investigation with a gang that was not worthy of being taken at their word.
Let me ask you this. If it is proven, and we're not there yet, but if it is proven that Roger Stone was in touch with WikiLeaks, which U.S. intelligence views as a middleman used by Russia to get stolen emails out, if he got advance notice from WikiLeaks about these materials, and if he passed that advance notice on to the Trump campaign, would he or members of the Trump campaign, in your view, be guilty of a crime?
Well, Jim, my view is that we have to protect the American people from outside interference. Bob Mueller is pursuing the crimes. Our job was to tell the American people what our adversaries are trying to do. I think it's offensive to our democracy if you're willing and eager to work with a foreign adversary and be a middleman between that adversary and a presidential campaign. Now, putting my prosecutor hat on, you know, I've retired from that career, but there's potential accomplice liability, there's potential conspiracy liability, but again, we would have to see just, you know, how dirty Roger Stone got in this business. Jim, Roger Stone for decades has called himself a dirty trickster. It's very hard to believe that he shed those dirty tricks for this campaign. Leopard doesn't change its spots, and Roger Stone does not forget dirty tricks. I think those are two rules to live by in politics.
We're 4 days away, of course, as you know. You're up for re-election as well from the midterm elections. Great job numbers again today, continuing a trend under this administration. What is the Democratic Party's? What is your counter message to voters on Tuesday? What will you do for American voters' economic interests that Republicans are not?
Jim, I grew up and represent Dublin, California, and to people there, the economy's not the stock market, it's not the unemployment rate, and it's certainly not the GDP. It's whether people are doing better, saving more, and dreaming bigger for their kids. And right now, when healthcare costs are going up during open enrollment right now, in some states, premium increases as high as 30%, when tax cuts are going to the top 10% in our country while everyone else has to pay for them, that's not seeing people get ahead. That's just allowing you to get by. So Democrats are running a for the people message, which protect health care by putting back in place protections around pre-existing conditions, protect paychecks to make sure tax cuts go to every person on every floor, not just people on the top floor of every building, and to protect our democracy outside, corruption that we see with the Russians and other countries like Saudi Arabia, and inside where we see dirty money and dirty maps polluting our democracy. There's a lot to do, a lot to protect.
Do you feel that that's a message that's getting out? Because many Democrats, party leadership, Nancy Pelosi included, associated with a simpler message, which is basically, we're not Trump. right? I mean, do you think that American voters see a clear alternative with Democrats other than it's not the party of the president?
Yeah, well, I'm on the leadership team of the House Democrats. I sit in a meeting with Nancy Pelosi every week, and we do conference calls as well. And there is no person who is keeping us more disciplined about healthcare, healthcare, healthcare. And it's because she hears it and I hear it across the country. That is top of mind for the American people. Their protections have been gutted. Pre-existing conditions are no longer being defended by the administration as being not able to be charged more for having one. And so we got to protect those first. And then I think, Jim, in 2020, that field of candidates will define largely what the economic message is. Right now, we're in a storm. We have to batten down the hatches and protect the American people, and then we can start to rebuild this country after the midterms.
Final quick question, yes or no, are you running in 2020?
I'm considering it, Jim. I just had a baby last week, so I got through the full term.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Cricket is her name, and we've got midterm coming this week, and I'm going to make decisions about the long term after this coming Tuesday.
All right, well, we're going to ask you again after Tuesday. Congressman Swalwell, and congratulations to you and your wife.
Thank you, Jim.
Cricket. I love that name. Congrats, Congressman, to you. That's wonderful.
Thanks,
enjoy this time. All right, so the economy is on a boom, a winning streak. Are there some warning signs ahead? The chairman of the President's Council on Economic Advisors, Kevin Hassett, is with us next.